Three, two, one. Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday for another episode of Guided by Spirit. I am your host, Richard LaRocco, with my amazing co-host, Miss Pauline Raffaella. How you doing, Pauline?
I'm doing as well as can be expected, given we are in this eclipse window. How are you, my
Well,
friend?
we're going to get to that in Universally Speaking because we have a lot going on.
We
If
do.
you have any questions, please give us a call, 646-558-8656. And the meeting ID is 820 252 It is in the description. So please give us a call if you have questions. We have amazing topics going on today. First, we have Universally Speaking, which we're going to get to because there's a lot energetically going on. And then we have an amazing topic, which I can't wait to talk about because this is going to open the door for a lot of people. So, Pauline, what is going on energetically and universally speaking?
So there's so much going on energetically. And as we know, we had the solar eclipse in Libra yesterday. And so what is this all about? So I'm going to give you my insights into this, and then I'm going to give you the overview from the last lunar eclipse in Pisces to the solar eclipse in Libra, and what the heck does all this mean? So Libra is the sign of balance. It's the scales, okay, balancing. And so it's a solar eclipse. And I always see the solar eclipse as the sun shining brightly on something, whereas the lunar eclipse are pulling out the hidden stuff, what's behind the scenes, what's been hidden. The solar eclipse shines the sun on things, and this anything where the sun shines, it's beautiful, it's uplifting. And since Libra is such a lovely sign, it is the scales balancing, all right, balancing. It is ruled by Venus, so it really is all about relationships and abundance and love and prosperity, balancing these aspects of our life. And so it's also represented by the Justice card in the tarot. So we now have the sun shining on justice, balance in life, in larger areas in this country, the world. And so it really is all about relationships. First and foremost, your relationship with self and God or universe, spirit, whatever you like to use. That's first and foremost. Relationship with others, relationship with life, relationship with abundance, relationship with balance, relationship with health. That is what this solar eclipse is shining the sun on. So essentially, this is a good thing. This is absolutely a good thing. All right. So get focused on what you'd like the sun to shine on in any of those areas for yourself. Now, because only 2 weeks ago we had the lunar eclipse in Pisces, and remember I said Pisces is the psychic intuitive sign, and it is highly emotional. So that lunar eclipse there was like ripping the Band-Aid off your psychic sight, off your third eye, off your intuition so you can see clearly. You have to come out of illusion. You have to come out of delusion. You have to come out of fantasy. You have to come out of all of that so that the scales of justice can balance your life accordingly. That is huge. It's huge. So it's highly emotional. The fatigue is extraordinary. So, Richard, you and I were talking about this before we got on
Yes.
the air. And so this is going to be a time now, but for the next 3 to 6 months, of awakening, revelation, coming out of delusion and fantasy and illusion, waking up to seeing truth, and then having the scales of justice and balance with the sun shining on it. So expect a lot of darkness in this country and maybe within you personally, and the world, to begin to be exposed. All right. And we need to stay in balance within ourselves to handle it all and to navigate it all, because this is truly uncharted territory.
Yeah, this has been absolutely remarkable. I don't do a lot of the planetary. We were talking about this, and for most of my life, I really was never affected by Mercury retrogrades, whatever retrogrades, and people are like, well, maybe it's in your charts. Maybe you were born on a retrograde. That's why you're immune. And I will tell you, the last, I will say, several months have been an absolute roller coaster ride energetically. Um, Nothing has changed in me. It's what's going on energetically in our environment, planetary. You're right. A lot of the truths are coming out. It's funny. I get a lot of people that say, what's going on politically, what's going on, socially, pop culture, things like that. And I got to tell you, I just keep seeing a lot of the layers being exposed, a lot of things coming to the surface. They're showing me a lot of like the spiritual, the good versus the dark, the light versus the dark, kind of it's real. And
Yes.
then from the energetic standpoint, again, I've been drained, wanting to isolate, kind of hibernate, do a lot of self-care, a lot of taking care of myself, body, mind, spirit,
Yep.
sleeping more, trying to get as much as I can, exercising more to kind of take care of this. And I'm telling you, self-care,
Yes.
self-love, self-preservation, a lot of those things are imperative right now. And
Yes.
people say, well, that's a little selfish. You're doing, no, it's a matter of sometimes on a soul level, like life or death,
Yes.
fight or flight, and that's kind of what, and I'm just being honest, my experience,
Right.
I was talking to my wife for last week, and I said, it's literally 50-50. Some days I wake up and I'm ready to take on the world, and some days it's like, what are we even doing here?
Yes.
And that's not me. And that's not go talk to somebody and go, no, that's an energetic imbalance. Like you said, the scales, you
Yes.
know. So it's really important that we understand this. We be very honest and transparent with ourselves because it always starts here.
Yes.
Um, and if you have to be gentle, if you have to put up boundaries, if you have to readjust things that are not working in your life, do it.
Yes.
Empower yourself because it's only starting. And that's not fear. That's not like, putting scared or, telling scary stories. You just watch the news. That's scary enough, right? And that's horrifying, especially with the storms and everything coming up. And a lot of the exposing of what's real is out there. And,
Yes.
people need to see it for their own eyes. My teacher, Patricia, always said, be a free thinker, find your own truth,
Hmm.
and that's kind of what I've done. Um, and yeah, I'm ready to go find my house in the mountains somewhere. I
Oh,
really, and that's not being, fearful. I'm just being honest.
yes. I
That's what
can.
we do here.
Oh,
We're,
I can relate, and
yeah,
I think that every light worker, empath, many people on this path of evolution. Everyone's on the path of evolution, but there are those of us who are truly holding space for fifth, sixth, seventh dimensional energies to be anchored here. And it first has to be anchored within us. And boy, that is like getting an internal, overhaul It's like renovating your kitchen and ripping everything out and putting a whole new kitchen in. Well, that's kind of energetically what's happening to many of us. And so we feel the effects of that in many different ways. And some of us more than others, depending upon how sensitive we are or how elevated we are. And the truth of the matter is, the more elevated you are, the more you're going to feel this. The denser you are, you're not going to feel it so much. And so we have to honor ourselves. I love what you said. We have to a lot self-care, a lot of self-care. We need to balance the scales in our own life in order to be able to see the truth as that band-aid has been ripped off. All right, with that lunar eclipse in Pisces. Okay, we can't be dreamy and fantasize. We have to be real and focused in reality. And so that is going to continue to challenge many people over the next 3 to 6 months, even longer, as to what is reality, what's really real, what am I being told that's real, what am I being told that's false, and how do I find the truth within that? And I always say, take a step back, stop listening to the narratives that keep going around in a circle, in a circle, in a circle, in a circle. Take a step back and say to yourself, am I ready to just step back, put that off to the side, and maybe see something different from a different perspective?
Different lens, look through it through different optics. I always tell people, start operating this world not based on emotions, but based on truth, your truth, whatever that may be. So energetically, hunker down, a lot of self-care. Also go in, be honest with yourself. If this is, for me, this is also a time of, doing more different things, kind of like adding, manifesting, creating,
Hmm?
tearing down, and rebuilding, which is kind of what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about, kind of how to ask for what you want. And then here's the important part, how to receive it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
yeah, because this really is a time of planting seeds,
yes.
exploration, reinventing, refurbishing, renovating. This is not a
Mhm.
time to be like pushing forward full steam ahead. This is a time of is doing exactly what you said. And I just want to make one more comment about heightened emotions. I love that you said that. Get your emotions in check. So, because if your emotions are not in check and you're filled with anger and you're filled with fear, you can't see clearly. I can promise you that if you're heightened, if your emotions are heightened, you're not seeing clearly. Even if you think you are, I'm telling you, you're not. You're being ruled by your emotions instead of a logical mind that can see more clearly.
Absolutely. So, Pauline, how to ask for what you want and how to receive it. I know you and I were briefly going back and forth yesterday, and you told me about this story about this young man and how he's kind of manifesting and doesn't really understand what he's doing. So, let's talk about, how do we ask for what we want? What does that mean? What does that look like?
Mhm.
And what is this? Because this is a little different than the law of attraction, right?
Mhm.
This is a
Right.
little different than manifesting. This is a lot more specific. So why don't you tell me a little bit about this young man
Mhm.
that you're working with? And then also, what are you showing them and how can people apply this?
Yeah. Okay. So this is all great because one of the first things, well, when I met him, I'll tell you, it's a very brief story how I met him. I decided one Saturday afternoon to take a walk in the park, or maybe it was a Sunday. And I walked into the park where I am, and there was a young man playing a guitar in the gazebo behind me. And I sat down on the bench, and the park that I go to is absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's trees and hills and benches and the Long Island Sound, and the sun sets there. It's beautiful. And so I sit down on the bench because I want to get nature. I want to get filled with nature. All right. I want to get filled with positivity and nature. And I hear somebody behind me playing a guitar. And I turned to look, he didn't see me, and I hear Spirit say to me, you need to connect with this young man. So I say, okay, then bring him over here, or do you want me to walk over there? What do you want me to do, Spirit? Okay. Long story short, he walks right by me, okay, as I'm sitting on the bench, and he makes direct eye contact with me. And I said, why don't you come and sit here, play some music for me? And he goes, I can't really play. Okay, the conversation starts, right? What do you want? His name is Sean. And I said, what do you want? I don't know what I want. I said, okay. I said, do you believe in a higher power? Do you believe in God? Do you believe in something? Not really. I said, okay, here we go. So we got a problem right here, don't we? Right? We have no connection to creation, to asking for the things that we want. So the first thing, I had to get him to understand that there is a higher power, that there is a God. And I like to use that word God. Not everybody does, and that's fine, whatever word you like to use. So you have to begin to make this connection to God or your higher self or spirit, source energy. You have to have that first. And once I began to talk to him about opening his mind to the fact that he needed to connect to something much bigger than him, not just his guitar, he started to open up. And I've been meeting him. I'm like his mentor now. And we meet every week and we talk about him, his thoughts, his desires. And he says, I don't know what I want. I said, well, somewhere within you, you do. So now we have to extract it from you. And we started to talk about all the different things that maybe he wants. Okay. And so I want to fast forward the story a little bit. So he's learning how to connect with God. We sat under a tree just a week ago. And as we're talking about the things that he wants, he's becoming clear now on some of the things that he really wants. A squirrel above us, we're sitting under the tree, starts throwing acorns down at the two of us. And his question to me right before the squirrel did that was, well, how do you know God's going to answer you? I said, well, God just did, because that squirrel just started throwing acorns down at the two of us. I said, that was a sign. And one of the acorns hit him in the knee. I said, come on. I said, has that ever happened to you before? And he said, no. I said, nature. I said, that squirrel knew exactly what to do. Why the two of us sitting here under the tree on the bench, why were we thrown acorns at? I said, there's a message in that. So I looked up the symbolism of acorns and squirrels, and he was in awe. He couldn't believe it. And in the weeks and actually months that I know him, I do have him praying. I do have him praying to God and all of that. So a week after that, he texts me and he says, we need to talk. And I said, what happened? He goes, I'm flipping out. He goes, all kinds of things are happening. I said, what kind of things? So we meet and he goes, the band I was in, all of a sudden gone. He goes, I'm no longer in the band. He goes, and it was my band. I created it. He goes, and the band is absolutely gone. Nobody wants to work with me. He goes, but then out of the blue, this other guy comes to me. And he's an amazing, and I think it's a drummer or a bass player. I don't remember exactly. And he says, and this guy sings harmony. He goes, I was telling my band, we need to sing harmony. And the band members were like, no, we don't want to sing harmony. We just want to do like heavy metal. And Sean was saying, no, we need to sing harmony. So now this other guy comes in and says, I sing harmony. And he's looking at me. He goes, is this real? He goes, is this really real? I said, oh, it's real. I said, now you have to accept it. You have to love this. You have to know that this is how it works. You're asking God for things, and now you're beginning to receive it. Now you have to not sabotage it. Now you have to take it step by step and not push ahead, not start to figure out the future. Just let everything unfold. And he's been in awe. Like it took him hours for him to actually accept, am I doing that? Is that really true? Like God cares about me? And I said, yes. And so we have to ask. We can't hope, we can dream, we can hope, we can fantasize, but we do have to ask. And we do have to ask for the things that we want. And it
So,
will come. And this happened, things started to happen very quickly for him. And you know why? Because he's an empath. He's
mm,
highly sensitive. He's psychic. He doesn't know he's any of these things. I tell him he is, but he doesn't get it yet. He's still figuring out who he is. But it's happening rapidly because he's more connected than he actually knows that he is. And it was beautiful for me to begin to witness this transformation.
yeah, it's people don't realize we can create magic just by the thoughts and what we set our intention. Now, when you told him to ask for things, did you tell him to ask in a certain way? Did you like, how did you tell him to kind of do this? Because I don't think people realize, they say, well, I want, to be this, or I hope this works out in my favor. You hope? God of your own understanding, universe, source, higher divine intelligence, whatever you want to call it, okay? Um, Infinite spirit does not work in I hope, because that's a 50-50 shot. This
Mhm.
is part of the manifesting, but I think people need to know the nuances and how to create this. This is not difficult, right? It is not difficult. So how did you tell him to start this?
Well, the first thing I did was I helped him get clear on what his deeper desire was. Okay. Not just a thought. Yeah, I'd really like a brand new car. Or I'd really like a Mercedes. Yeah, I'd like to be earning 200,000. No, no, no. I got him into his feeling space. I said, let's feel what you want. Okay. Do you want a heavy metal rock band? And he was like, well, it's kind of like what we're doing. And I said, I get it. I said, but is that really what you want? So I got him into his feeling space. Okay. And when something feels right, you get that yes. When something feels wrong, you get the in the gut. So I started to connect him with his solar plexus and his heart. Okay. And distinguishing between, do you want this? Follow your intuition. When he got a feeling of like, ooh, excitement, yes, that was a yes. When he got the, no, I don't think I do. That I got a knot in my stomach, that was a no. So the first thing we did was we identified through his intuition and his feeling what felt right to him, because what felt right was his soul's desire. So the soul's desire is much easier to manifest because it's already there. It's already in us. So when he
Hmm.
realized that he really thought that maybe he did want a different kind of band, that he wanted to harmonize, that rather than doing the electric guitar, maybe he wanted to do something else. And I was guided to show him the band America. Okay, well, that's from our day. Okay, America, horse with no name, right? And so I had him listen to some of those melodies with the guitar, and he was like, wow, he goes, this is really resonating with me. And I said, because that's your truth. So the first thing we did was get into the truth, get him into his truth by using intuition. What feels right? You have to sit in quietness. I had him close his eyes. Does this feel right? Does this feel right? And you get that excitement feeling when it's right, and you get that little knot of, nah, I don't think so. That's the no. That was step number one.
So is there a step number two? I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. No, I thought you wanted to say something. Okay.
No, I think it's fascinating. So, kind of like sitting with yourself. And here's for the person that doesn't want to sit, meditate, get all quiet. First of all, what really would help you in this situation? If it's finding a healthy relationship, if it's finding happiness, finding a job that gives you what you need, whether it's more income, advancement, challenges you, quality of life, balance, whatever it is, right? So, and health. So a lot of people, their main wish is to be healthy. to find, to remove pain, to, remove cancer, things of that nature. So what is it? And be honest with yourself and be very transparent.
Mhm.
Focus it, visualize it for me. Okay. So a lot of the saying it in a positive way, that's the micro of the situation. The macro is one, what would be best for you? What is the highest and best? And for this young man, it's defines this his real passion, which
Yes.
is making a music the way he wants to, right? Which will
Yes.
better help others, but also help him. So that's kind of the macro, the foundation of all of this. The kind of micro is when we go to think about this, we visualize us doing it, us receiving it, us being healthy, us having the abundance, that job, that prosperity,
Mhm.
and then saying it in a way that affirms this. Okay. Because to ask for what you want is great, but most people get caught up right there, right? They hit that traffic light when you have to like get home and it's like, oh my gosh, there it is, and I got to stop. It blocks them from one big thing, self-talk, their thoughts, right? So they don't always believe, yeah, I can ask for, to find this band the way I want and everything, but that's really not going to happen. So now you just kind of cleared, you've kind of canceled your order to Amazon. You canceled it. They didn't even get the chance to refill it yet,
Mhm.
right? So here's a little trick that I use when the thoughts and the self-talk start to take over, okay? In the negative low vibration sense. I always say, oh, I would, I see myself doing this. Thank you for allowing this to happen. And then the thoughts say, well, it hasn't happened yet. I go cancel clear. Everything is happening and the balls are in motion. So you have to be mindful. It seems kind of weird, right? Because it's different. The definition of insanity is keep doing the same thing and get expecting a different result. So once your thoughts, if you're a negative person or the self-talk slides in there that can be negative or sabotaging, right? Say, cancel, clear that. No, and then replace it with that positive thought. That's how we receive. And like this young man, magic's going to happen.
Yes, he was shocked. So, okay, so step number one was getting him in touch with his intuition about what he really wanted in his heart, his passion. That was exactly right, his passion. So obviously music is his passion, but the direction he was going in wasn't really working because he really has a different route to go in terms of the type of music that he really wants to create. Okay. So getting clear on that, getting him in touch with his intuition. And the asking is very simple. Okay. The asking is simply, I had him just put his hands to his heart and just say, God, bring me my passion. Bring me the band that I need. Bring me the people that I need to work with. It was as simple as that. And so what happened? Well, the ones he was currently working with, okay, were yanked out and someone new came in. And all of a sudden now there's a harmony going on. He's more in alignment with this new person. And he said this new person sings like incredibly beautiful harmony. He says, I can't believe it. I'm saying, well, so okay. So prayer of asking. It doesn't have to be a big long dissertation. Just doesn't have to be that. It's a simple asking. And I also tell him, and I do this every day, God, show me the way. Show me the way forward. Because God knows better than we do where we belong, who we belong with, better than we can know in this moment. So we also have to trust that. So every day he's just asking in that simple way. and he's asking to be shown the way, and he's being shown the way. All right, so that's step number 2. Number 3 is about receiving, not sabotaging it. Okay, and so this is where some of the even the deeper work has to come in: the self-love, the self-worth, the not sabotaging and screwing something up that's really good. And human beings have a tendency to do that, right? Because they're very wounded, and they tend to screw up things that could be so amazing. And so the third step is, now we're working on him accepting this, owning this. He deserves to be happy. He deserves to have the type of band and music that he truly wants to create. And then he said to me, I have a friend who said she had a dream about me the other night. And I said, and what did she dream? He said, she actually saw me on stage playing my guitar. I said, okay. I said, so sometimes God gives us people who have seen something for us or gives us encouragement. And so he's learning to receive all of this, right? Because he's had a lot of, you're never going to amount to anything. You don't know what you're doing. You're not good enough. He's had a lot of that. So it's undoing all of those patterns and accepting that he can do it because it's already in him. And now he has to work on accepting it and building it. And I walked with him for about 5 minutes, and I recorded the whole walk. I had him repeat affirmation after affirmation after affirmation, repetitive. I can be a leader. I can do this. I am doing this. I deserve to do this. I love to do this. I kept saying, okay, say it again, say it again, say it again. And I recorded it, and then I sent it to him. I said, now listen to that every day. So for people who don't have someone walking with them, recording the affirmations, write them down. Or even record yourself saying the affirmations, and then listen to that every night before you go to sleep.
Here's the big thing with recording the affirmations and saying it, but then believe that it can happen. And you said a lot of there was some great key points there, is that a lot of the self-talk, the wounded, right? So a lot of times we have that kind of negative self-talk or the self-sabotaging. That's a trauma response, right? So when you start to notice that, right, say cancel, clear. Cancel, clear. No, that's my trauma. I deserve this, right? Say it to yourself. Say it out loud. Who cares, right? But identify that a lot of the self-talk, the negative thoughts, the self-worth, these are trauma responses, right? So we deserve whatever we want out there in the universe. That's how it operates. That's how vibration and frequency works. You raise your vibration by thinking in a positive way, creating a new life for you, creating new experiences, right? And then believe that you deserve all of it. All of it. And what starts to happen is you become that magnet of manifestation. It's like Prime on Amazon. You're getting it tomorrow, right? It's going to happen quicker. And especially with this young man, it's aligned with what his heart and soul really needs. That's why, people are thinking about him. I saw you on stage. Oh my gosh, this singer just came in, because it's aligned really what you need.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is, a lot of times people ask, oh, thank you for letting me win $2 billion Powerball and, this. And if that's not what aligned, that would be great. But if it's not aligned for what you need in that moment, what really you need, it ain't going to happen. Right. So that's why I said, be honest and transparent with yourself.
Right. And it's true. So that's also beautifully said. I love the cancel clear. I love that.
Cancel clear. It's that simple. People make it hard. It's like, no, don't beat yourself up. Cancel clear. Cancel clear.
Yeah.
It's like refunding. Oh, I bought this. It was the wrong size. Here's the receipt. Give me my money back. That's it.
Yes.
It's that simple. We make it hard. It's not
Now,
hard.
when we make the connection upward, okay, and we are truly acknowledging that, look, everything comes from source. Okay, everything comes from source. People who think that they're creating everything themselves, you're not. There's a higher power that's giving you the opportunity and the energy and the drive and everything else to create what you want, right? So you have to acknowledge that there is this higher power. And so here's a little tip, and I'm gonna teach our audience something right now that they can do anytime, anywhere. All right. And I've been doing this with my clients. One hand over the heart, the other hand over the solar plexus. You close your eyes. You do have to acknowledge this higher power. Okay. And so for me, it's God. But okay, so, and I just say, God, give me a download of inner peace right now. And within seconds, I feel it. Like I just said that, and I felt a wave of energy flow right through me. And if you practice that enough, you will be able to calm your emotions, whatever it is you are needing in that moment. Is it inner peace? Is it love? Is it joy? Is it mental clarity? Is it health? Just do that, and you'll begin to work with your own energy system in connection to the universe, and you can start to receive your own downloads of balance.
Yeah, it's not hard. It's not hard. We make it hard,
Well,
and it's God of your own understanding. For people out there who say, well, I'm not getting religion, it doesn't have to be. You can, Mother Nature, whatever it is, God, higher source, spirit, whatever you want to call it,
right,
right? It's aligning with the right intention, vibration, and frequency. And what I mean by vibration and frequency is everything operates on vibration.
right,
So when you start sitting and giving yourself this and you start talking in this positive way and creating, you start getting excited. So think about this. And to kind of put it in perspective is, imagine I said to you, okay, so $2 billion lottery ticket, okay? If we win, what would you do with it? Well, all of a sudden, the world is your oyster. You start getting excited. I would get that house on the mountain or by the beach, and I would sit there and maybe pay off some things, and I would do a lot of charity work, and I would do, you start getting excited, right? Your vibration went up, your
right.
vibration and frequency increased, right? So think about a cell tower. All of a sudden, the tower just got much bigger. And
Mm-hmm.
next thing you know, you're getting that signal. Well, that's what we talk about as
Yes,
spiritual practitioners, as doing this and manifesting and creating on a daily basis for ourselves and for our clients, right? We teach people how to raise your vibration. If you're sitting there doom and gloom, what are the words going to come out? We all have a relative like this. If it wasn't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. The black clouds follow me. I swear they know where I live, right? We all have people like this in our lives. Are they going to get what they need? No, they're going to get what they deserve, right? That's karma. But if you start talking and you start getting excited, think about it. Get yourself excited about it, and everything is achievable.
right. And
It's
it's
that
and
simple.
you don't have to working in this way. You don't have to be a Reiki master. You don't have to be a psychic medium. You don't have to do it. Just start to understand yourself and know that the connection between you and source is already there. And one of the things you said that I like, okay, I do use the word God. And to me, God is not a religion and it's not political. I had somebody recently say to me, well, is that religious or political? And I'm like, God is not religious. Okay. God is just God, no different than universe. So no, it is not political, although religions have used God in many different ways that aren't so good. But God in and of itself is not religious, and it is not political. It is source energy.
Yes. And I say that, God of your own understanding to rationalize it in a way people understand. People they don't understand. They go, well, you're telling what kind of God? And it's like, I don't know, the guy with, the checkered suit or the blue suit or with the brown shoes or the dress. And no, it doesn't matter. That's the micro, the macro of the situation is just believe, right? And
Yeah.
it can create. Now, if anybody in the comments, why don't you, everybody watching, leave a comment and what would you ask for? What would you ask for? If you had one wish, what would it be? Right? Because I find that fascinating. If you had one wish you could ask and it would be delivered, what would that be? It's not a genie with three wishes. We're not doing that. We're
Oh, that's what I
asking,
used to do all the time. You have one wish. Okay, my one wish is that I have three more wishes.
okay, so we'll do three wishes. So in the comments, why don't we leave a comment? Give you three wishes. If you could ask for three things and know that it would be received, what would it be? And be honest with yourself. Let's try this exercise. Let's see what people would put. Let's leave comments. What would it be? So for me, um, let's see. I would. Oh, this is hard. This is hard. So I would think we're going to kind of start on the human level. Okay. I would affirm and ask for abundance and prosperity, right? Kind of like the abundance and prosperity. Let's start there. And then I would ask for to find the clients that need the most healing that I could help, right? I want that. I want people that really need the healing, and I want to be able to help them more than they can help themselves. And, ooh, the third one, that everybody heal the traumas that they walk with every day. I'm not going to ask for world peace because that would never happen. But if we remove the traumas that people walk with, we almost started a clear slate. That's what I would ask for.
So I think number two for you is going to happen very quickly if it's not happening already. It's like it's if it's already number two for you is I'm just tuning in. Number two for you, now that you have stated that, that's going to start to happen because that's what I did so long ago, and they just find me. They just keep finding me. They just keep finding me, and so because God's in control of that, so that's going to happen. And so we just keep moving forward. So that's going to happen.
Okay. So thank you for that. And what's your three wishes, your genie wishes?
So, well, the first one is a home of my own, but I know it's already coming. I know it's coming. It's just a matter of when. A home of my own.
Okay.
Um, the right partner. Okay, the right partner. And and in terms of my work, I have always dreamed of like I want to just sit on a beach and just radiate just radiate healing and love as people are walking by and clear the negativity and the hurt within them as they walk by my beach chair and they don't even know what happened and they walk by and say, "Wow, all of a sudden I feel really light and I feel really good," and just sort of heal people with being very incognito.
So that's your three.
Those would be my three.
Okay. Okay. Good. Anybody out there in the comments, just put three things. Wait a second. We have Jane from New Jersey. To have enough, to have my home, to be able to home senior dogs and cats. I love that, Jane. Yes. You know, it's funny. There's a gentleman that was on the show Impractical Jokers. He actually is in Glen Cove, out by you, Pauline, on the island. No, his name is Joey Gatto. And he actually, with a lot of the money that he got from Impractical Jokers, the show, created a dog rescue for senior and disabled dogs
Hmm.
called Gatto's Pups. I think they have a retail shop that they just opened in Glen Cove. And it's unbelievable. I mean, this is what he does. He at any point he'll have, 10, 15, 20 dogs that are 15, 18, 20, blind, gonna die. He rescues them all.
Yes.
And he names them after Italian food and pastries. So
Oh,
he'll have cannoli. He had a bonded pair called fettuccine and Alfredo. So yes. So Jane, I love that for you, and I hope you
I love
have
that.
enough. Ask for it and start to receive now. And be specific. Enough of what? Enough of people, enough money, enough. What is it? So thank you for doing that. Who else? Come on, as people out there, now's your 30 seconds of fame, your three questions. Put it out there. Anyway, think about it, and you don't have to put it in the comments, but you can put it out to the universe. It's that simple. We have Deborah Starr. So everyone around the world has clean air, clean water, and rich, fertile, uncontaminated earth.
Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
I wish that too. I
Yes.
wish that simple things that we should have as humans on this earth, we should have clean resources and not chemtrails and chemicals and fluoride and pollutants and chemicals in everything that is toxic. Everything,
Yes.
everything around us is toxic,
Yes.
including the air. Um, that's why in almost every major room in my house, including my office, I have big air filters to create that for myself. But I love that, Deborah. From your mouth to God's ears.
And we're all behind you on that one.
Yes, I love that. I
Yes.
love that. So it's that simple. Once we put that out there to the universe and keep our mind going in that right direction and
Hmm.
not sabotage ourselves with the thoughts. And remember, we're human, right? The thoughts come up. What do we say? Two words: cancel, clear. Cancel, clear, and then replace it, right?
Yeah,
It's
I like that.
that simple.
Yeah, I like that. And be patient because it doesn't, as in Sean's case, it really did happen very, very quickly, but that's because he was really ripe and ready and he had I helped him really tune in to what it is that his soul wanted. But sometimes even though you tune in and you know what it is that you want and you just ask in that way, bring it to me. I am ready for it. Bring it to me. It can take a while. So we have to be patient too, because there is a divine timing aspect to this.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So it's funny. When I got certified as a medium, and I spent the summer in Lilydale. Oh my, I still get PTSD, um, in a good way, in a good way. So one of the things was, they said, I would always ask, and my teachers would say, Richard, everything happens in divine order. And I said, well, what does that mean? Because it's supposed to happen. I said, everything, including bad stuff, yes, things get removed so they can be replaced. Well, I was in a car accident. Well, the universe was slowing you down, Richard. And I'm sitting there like, okay, so when is it going to happen? In divine timing. And I said, after a while, it sounded like a fortune cookie, right? Divine order, divine timing. And it's like, but it does work that way.
It
If
does.
you're not aligned, you're not going to receive. And you will receive when it's ready. So know that it's not the right moment for you to receive that.
Right.
So that's kind
Faith,
of what the divine timing is.
faith and trust. Just keep the process going.
Yes.
Just keep tuning into yourself. Use the feeling exercise that I gave you. What feels right, what doesn't feel right. All right. And follow what feels right. Ask for it. And look for the signs. Look for the signs that are leading you forward because the signs are there. Um, Sean's sign was a squirrel throwing acorns at us. That was hilarious. And look for the signs. They are there. And then receive and keep going.
Love it. I love it.
Terrific.
So again, simple things that we can do to help ourselves, to ask, to receive. And again, with the planet and the energies going on, hunker down, self-care, self-love, self-preservation. It's always an inside job.
Yes. And can we take just a moment in silence and prayer for for the victims of Hurricane Helene and
Yes.
all of the areas in Florida and North Carolina, Georgia, all places. All right. So I just anybody who's listening, just close your eyes and just imagine those areas that have been affected, and just imagine the white, beautiful crystalline light of the universe mixed in with a beautiful pink hue, touching every person, touching the land, Mother Earth, touching everything where the hurricane destroyed, and beginning to heal the area, Mother Earth, the waters, the land, the hearts and minds of all people who are affected. And may God watch over them, protect them, and may we all heal quickly. Amen.
Amen. I tell you, in 2004, 2004, 2005, when Hurricane Katrina came through and hit Texas and the Gulf Coast, there was three storms: Wilma, Katrina, and Rita.
Mhm.
Wilma actually came through Fort Lauderdale, where I lived, as a Category 5. And we had lost power for over 13 days. I lost a townhouse that FEMA knocked on the door, inspected it, and says you have to leave. Lost almost all my furniture, everything. It was pretty devastating. So I can only imagine it's nothing in comparison to them. You know, there's over 200 lives lost in Florida alone, from what I saw. I could be wrong. Again, this is what was reported. Um, and for the people of even Asheville, North Carolina, where their infrastructure is not set up for a hurricane,
Right.
homes are not set up for a hurricane. Where I lived, you know, they constructed for 120 to 140-mile-an-hour winds, cinder block.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of those homes up there are A-frame wood that are like toothpicks. So we really need to send energy to them, send prayers to them. Just take a moment and send that they find exactly what they need, and resources get there.
Yes.
You know, that's what we can do to help. Um, but it's scary. And there's actually another storm on the way that just turned into a hurricane that's going literally the same direction. So, you know, just keep sending prayers and love that way. But yeah, yeah. So
Thank you.
thank you for that. And
Yep.
everyone, thank you again. So we have somebody, Barb, she said, hi, my son is in Tampa. Thank Jesus, he is good. So yes, thank you. Thank you. He is in good. He is good in Tampa. They had some flooding, which was downtown Tampa. I lived in Tampa for a few years, and that was a big thing where the streets literally would get flooded by like 3, 4 feet. But I'm glad he's safe. And sending much love. I have a friend, Kim, who's in Tampa, and she is safe, and much love to them and people out there. So thank you, everyone. I look forward to seeing everybody. We do have a special guest coming up on October 17th. This is
Yes.
going to be amazing. Another big guest who's going to literally just unbelievable. So again, we're not going to tell you, no spoiler alert. You're just going to have to tune in and check it out. But I do want to send everybody love and many blessings.
Many blessings. Much gratitude to our listeners, and stay in the light. We send you love and peace. Thank you for
Thank you.
joining.